Will Binance pay the US Justice Department up to maybe more, $4 billion? And can they afford it? Also, the SEC is going after Kraken yet again. If you're running a cryptocurrency business in the US or you're planning to, these types of developments are very important for you to pay attention to. And if you're a cryptocurrency investor in the US and you don't know how to use a decentralized exchange, you don't know how to take custody over your cryptocurrencies, events like this are just eating away at your opportunity to invest in the different assortment of different cryptocurrencies that exist in this space. Speaking of taking self-custody, you guys, it is the Black Friday sale now for the Trezor hardware wallets. They're giving a 40% discount for all of their hardware wallets, including bundles and accessories. That's a huge discount. I was actually pretty surprised to see it was 40%. So for those of you who have been waiting for this opportunity, this is it. It lasts until November 27th, so please take advantage of this opportunity. For anyone who's been waiting to buy a hardware wallet or maybe to gift some to your family members as a heavy hint that they need to take custody over their cryptocurrencies, or if you just want to invest in, your backups of hardware wallet options, this is an excellent opportunity for you to buy at a discount. I think you'll find that the Trezor user interface is much more user-friendly compared to Ledger and Ledger Live, especially dealing with the different account setups and the different applications that you need to add and remove from your physical device. Trezor just doesn't have that. It's much more streamlined. If you want to know what it's like to set up the new Trezor Safe 3, I will be publishing that tutorial tomorrow. For those of you who've been waiting for your chance to buy a hardware wallet at a huge discount, again, Trezor is offering 40% off. I appreciate it if you use the link down below provided in the video description. That helps support our channel. And if you appreciate our efforts towards educating the public on cryptocurrencies for free on this YouTube channel, consider using that affiliate link. I certainly appreciate it. But now on to the news that will hopefully encourage you to yet again take full custody over your cryptocurrencies. These exchanges in the US, I mean, honestly, I do feel bad for them because they're trying. They're very much trying against entities like the SEC who are time and again not acting in good faith. First, let's talk about Kraken. You guys, the SEC already sued Kraken in February of this year, so like 10 months ago. And for those of you who remember, Kraken was really fast to make a settlement with the SEC. They chose not to go to court with them and instead paid $30 million. The SEC was saying that Kraken was violating their securities laws by offering basically staking services that were offering like up to 21% APY. And so Kraken paid that fee and they stopped offering those services to US customers. And now 10 months later, the SEC is back again with another lawsuit against Kraken. And this time, I don't think Kraken is going to settle. At least they're not talking like they're going to settle. But this time, the SEC is doing a very similar lawsuit, what they already have against Coinbase. Now, why are they copy and pasting? I mean, there are definitely some differences, but the accusations in this lawsuit is very similar between Coinbase and Kraken. Here's the difference. Coinbase is based in New York, and Coinbase, this court case against the SEC has been assigned to the very same judge that made a favorable ruling for the cryptocurrency space in that case involving Uniswap. So the SEC is looking at this case, this precedent that's really been set with the case with Uniswap, and now the same judge is ruling against Coinbase. And honestly, you guys, Coinbase is the custodian of all Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. The applications from BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK Invest, and all of these huge ETF applications have assigned Coinbase to be their custodian. So there's a lot saying that Coinbase isn't going to lose this case, in addition to the fact that they have a sympathetic judge towards cryptocurrencies. So maybe that's why the SEC is now going after Kraken under the very similar terms, because Kraken is based in San Francisco, and maybe they're going to have a different judge that will will lean a different way, maybe away from cryptocurrencies. That is yet to be seen, but there are some people speculating that maybe those are actually the motivations behind Gary Gensler's latest lawsuit against Kraken. Jesse Powell has said, they learned their lesson, that $30 million afforded them 10 months. Only 10 months before the SEC came against them yet again. And also, obviously there needs to be some real lawmaking from Congress to establish real rules and regulations that these cryptocurrency companies can abide by to be regulatory compliant in the United States. Because at the moment, the SEC is saying, these companies, you just need to come forward, you need to be regulated, you need to register. The laws that are currently in place for that process to happen just cannot. It's just completely unfeasible for a cryptocurrency exchange to abide by those regulations because they aren't more of the same. This is a completely different asset class and it behaves differently, and it should be regulated differently as well. For those of you who are a fan of regulation, for those of you who know how a blockchain works, you know that it is audited and regulated by the nodes of the network 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Anyway, I would be really eager to see Kraken fight against the SEC here. Maybe save that money from settling and investing it towards their legal team to fight against the SEC. I think, the tides have turned. They've already turned against the SEC with all the court cases that they've lost and the precedents that are being set in the courts. I will be including a link to some really helpful tweets that highlight the differences and maybe a lot of similarities between the SEC versus Coinbase lawsuit and the SEC versus Kraken lawsuit. I found it to be very illuminating. For those of you who are interested in learning more, check out the links below in the video description. Okay, now let's talk about the $4 billion elephant in the Binance room. This is a huge number, and a lot of people are skeptical that CZ and Binance in general can even afford a $4 billion bill passed down to them from the US Justice Department. And what does it mean? If they pay this, can Binance just keep functioning? Will they have to shut down? Will CZ actually serve prison time? I think all of those things are on the table, but generally, actually, except for the part where Binance shuts down. I think that is the effort and intention behind this $4 billion penalty. It's, if not the largest penalty to be paid for criminal activity or an accusation in the cryptocurrency space from the US. And I think the intention of this $4 billion negotiation, for what it is that Binance.us can continue to function and to avoid basically fallout and customer losing funds and having a basically government-induced FTX situation for US customers. According to a Yahoo Finance article, again, I'll link it down below in the video description, it says, the agreement seeks to strike a balance that would allow Binance to continue operating rather than risk a collapse that could cause negative fallout for markets and crypto holders. Also, Binance has sought a deferred prosecution agreement, which if Binance and the US Justice Department do come to an agreement on this deferred prosecution agreement, it means that the US would not go forward with a prosecution as long as the company meets prescribed conditions. What those conditions are exactly, probably something to the tune of a $4 billion payout. It also might include agreeing to a detailed statement of facts outlining its wrongdoing. So basically, Binance would have to admit to some wrongdoing. And then from there on out, there would have to basically be monitoring the crap out of Binance.us to make sure that they are staying compliant. There's been a lot of allegations against Binance for helping to violate the sanctions that the US has against Iran and Russia. So that probably has a lot to do with it. But also, I think if I'm reading this correctly, it means that even if Binance forks over this $4 billion, CZ could still see some prison time as well. That's not necessarily off the table. So whether he's in prison or not, Binance.us could still be functioning. So It's not like, $4 billion and then you get off scot-free. So we're going to have to see how this develops. Keep in mind that CZ does live in the UAE and they don't necessarily have an extradition agreement with the United States. So if CZ does land in the jurisdiction of the US, it would be through voluntary measures. Anyway, we're going to keep you posted as always. I appreciate it if you hit the like button and hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.